Hello. Hi, Effa, are you there? Can you hear me? You need to unmute yourself so that I will know that you are here.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay, I'm not getting your
Good
response.
afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. Okay, so we are live now, just waiting for others. We are waiting for our audience to join us so that we can start. Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, good afternoon, Yusuf Bolaji. Good afternoon, Vivian Sunday. Good afternoon, everyone. Faith Biochemistry. Good afternoon, Faith. How are you doing today? I don't know why you're asking biochemistry. Good afternoon, Abimbola. Please let's tell others that we have started. Let's tell others that we have started. Okay. Yeah. Good afternoon, Ekanem. Ekanem. Good afternoon and welcome to this live session. Thank you very much for joining. Welcome. Right. So just this. Let's just take some seconds to inform others that we have started so that we can go ahead. We don't won't take much of our time today because we have limited time to do this. All right, so let's go ahead and introduce ourselves so that we know ourselves better. I don't know why I can't see my sometimes I cannot see you. If I cannot see you, is there any problem? Is there any issues why we cannot see you guys? Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Just a second. All right, so let's continue. Let's start. Let's get started. All right. So welcome to our live feedback on your post tax. On your first task. So it's important that we all give you feedback on what you've worked on so that you know your areas where you can improve yourself and to as well help you. You need to help yourself, right? Because the goal of everything is not just to work on projects, right? You need to get feedback on what you've worked on to know that, oh, these are the areas I need to improve myself on. All right. So welcome everyone. And of course, as usual, my name is Chiri, and I am here. I was here last week, and I'm here again today. All right, so we've been doing this together with you guys since couple of days now, and we're here again today. Right, so I would like my audience, I mean our guests here, to introduce themselves and my colleague as well. So they will just give us a brief introduction about themselves, why we then go ahead and start the program fully. All right, good afternoon, everyone. I want to believe that we are all ready for today's session. Welcome again to this live feedback. Hello, Sandra, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, Cherry. Good afternoon, IFASA. And good afternoon to our wonderful interns who are live on the call. It's so good to be here again once again. And of course, happy Sunday to everyone. Hope we all have Sunday jollof or Sunday chicken or Sunday turkey, whatever. All right. So my name is Sandra Shagade, and I'm the data data analytics team lead here at Amdor Analytics. And once again, yeah, good afternoon and happy Sunday.
Hi, Muba. Welcome to this section. We are just introducing ourselves. Hi, Ifasa. Are you there? Please, can you introduce yourself? And let's go ahead with other things. Hello, Ifasa. Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me, please? I don't know what's happening to my network. Is
Yes, I
anybody
can hear
using
you.
Blue? Maybe I need to change from Blue. Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Oke. Efasa, not Efasa. It's Efasa, and
It's okay, what's up?
yes, I'm actually a Power BI developer and I work with International Brewery as a logistics analyst, and I'm really happy to be a part of this session to see how we can help um, the interns improve on their Power BI skills and data analysis skills generally. It's an interesting experience, and I can't wait to see what you guys have done with the data that was given to you guys. It's an interesting data. I've gone through it, so I can't wait to see your reports and how they wow us today. It's nice meeting everyone. Thank you.
All right, welcome, Ifasa. All right, Muba, are you there? Can you hear us? Hi, Muba.
Yeah, I can. Please
I
confirm.
don't
Can you
know.
hear me?
We can't see you guys. What's going on? Muba, Ifasa, we can see you. Okay, let's see here from Muba now. Muba, what can we see you? Yeah, thanks you. That's
Okay.
my guy. Hi. I turn on your video. Let's see you, please. Let's introduce yourself with your video.
I'm coming.
No problem.
Che- Okay. I will turn on my video along with the line.
Okay, no problem. That's fine. Just continue.
Okay. Yeah, I'm Vag Dauda has been here. So I'm glad to be here and I'm glad having you here also. So I'm a data and business intelligence analyst at Bogus Africa, a food tech company here in Africa. And I'm a Power BI developer also. So yeah, that's all about me. And I wise also, yeah.
All right, welcome, Muba. Nice to have you here. Okay, so welcome our interns as well. We really welcome you guys. Thank you for joining, and of course, thank you for being here again to listen. Or of course, not just to listen, but to learn something new as well. Right? Thank you guys for joining. I don't know why others are not here. We're expecting more than 100 people, right? But that's fine. All you need to do is to pay attention and look at areas that you need to improve yourselves on, right? So because that's the benefit of you having this session. Looked at, oh, these are the things I've done, these are the areas I should have done better in order to improve my expertise, right? Not just to get that pictures. Yeah, getting that pictures is good, right? But getting a feedback from someone who is not, I don't want to say who is higher than you, but is more professional than you is very, very important as well. That's the best anyways. So welcome everyone and nice to have you guys here. Now before we proceed, right, I want to ask us how was tax one project. How was it? Do you want to share with us? Use the comment section. Tell us how the program went. I mean, the stress, I don't know, right? Just tell us how was the project? Was it so easy? Was it so sweet? Was it so taxing? Can we just get some shots here? Tell us, how was your tax one analysis? How did it go? Was it taxing? Was it interesting? So we're expecting your shots. We are expecting your messages so that we know that yes. So we got some messages actually. We know that it was also engaging because we got some messages on your WhatsApp group, right? But we'd like to hear from you guys here now. It was interesting but challenging. It was interesting, but I won't die. All right, you will not die, right? It was night challenge. Yeah, that's from Vivian Sunday. It's actually fun. It was great, interesting, intense, and taking as well. That's from Chukwemeka Marcos. Right. So let's hear from others. Let's hear from others. Okay, no comments. I don't know who is saying no comments. No, come on now. You work on this project. Okay, let's believe that you did not work on this project, right? For me, it was interesting but taxing because this is my first project I worked on. Wow, that's great. It shows that you are improving yourself, right? It was fun but taxing. This was my first time using Power BI. Well, last time we told you guys something. We always hear you're here to learn, right? You are here to learn, okay? So whether it was school, that's great. That's great. Thank you very much, everyone, for engaging. That's great. Okay. Let's dive into the program now. Let's talk about the program in generally, and of course, what we expected from you guys to do. You understand? So I don't know what was it. When we started, we asked you guys what were your expectations. What are you expecting for mocks? And then a lot of you said, "Oh, I'm expecting this. I'm expecting that." Right now, we have given you project to work on, and of course, nice one, a very challenging and interesting one as well. Just like every other person has said. To me, I can say that it's nice one. It's interesting and we're done for everyone who have worked on that. Now, what I want to do now, I want to really appreciate everyone. Okay, yeah, thanks for that, for meeting yourself. So I want to really appreciate everyone who has worked on this project, right? Now, let me tell you something. Now, a lot of people left the group chat because they feel like, oh, I got a lot of messages. In fact, we got a lot of messages like, oh, I have not used any of these tools before. I've not used Power BI before. I've not used Excel before. Can I use this? Can I use Python for this, right? We want to encourage you, appreciate you, even for you to even attempt. I got a lot of messages like, oh, I don't even know what to do with this analysis. What do I do? All right. So, but you are, one of the encouragements, like, okay, you can do it, you can do it. A lot of people pick that, took that as a goal, as a help, as a push, and then push themselves in order and worked on this project, right? Now, I want to sincerely appreciate you guys because, to be very honest, it is not easy. Some of you, this is the first time using Power BI. Yeah, so because I got a lot of messages like, oh, we have been using SQL, and I never knew that this project has to do with anything like visualization, but I will try my hands. I will try to find a way to visualize it. So some of you just use any of these visualization tools for the first time. This shows that you guys are willing to learn. I don't know about you, but I can say, to be honest, I was so impressed with all that I saw out there on your LinkedIn, on your Medium. Even some people took it to Twitter. I saw someone on Twitter as well. That was very, very good one from you guys. And to everyone who did not submit, right? I got a lot of people that, someone sent me a message that I don't even know what to do. I am not, in fact, I think the person was looking intimidated, right? With other people's visuals and feel like, oh, I cannot do it. And the person left group chat. A lot of people left the group chat, right? But you are here. Now, if you have submitted, well done. If you did not submit as well, I want to tell you, well done. You can do better in it. You can do better, right? So let's dive into the program officially. Let's talk about the data, and but before we move into that, right, we want to hear from our colleagues here, or let me say, want to hear from our judges here. They're not here to judge you, right? Nobody is here because we all started somewhere, right? We all started somewhere. Like, oh, we started with our first visual. From the first visual, and we were like, oh, I can do better. I moved to that. I moved to that. We all grew to this point where we are today. So we are not here to judge you that, oh, you didn't do well, or to bash you. No, no, that's not what we're here to do. We're here to encourage you as well, that come on, thank you, you have done this and you can do better. That's all we are here for, right? So I would like to, hear from let me say our judges, right? Possibly if they want to share their experience about internship or project, how working on projects has helped them, or how working on internship. Some of them have done probably something like hackathon, how it actually helped them to improve their expertise, right? So let me hear from my colleague Papa. So let me hear. So do you have anything you want to say here about working on projects, working on real life
Yeah.
projects, how it helped you?
All right. So first, I'll start with competitions. So before I started working on real life projects, I started with competitions and seeing how other people were able to, to present their own findings, were able to work on the same data sets as myself. It kind of like helped me to improve my analysis, helped me to improve my visualization skills, because from there I was able to see that okay, we can use a particular visual to get a particular result. And basically it just helped me, it improved my critical thinking, right? Because I saw that while I was doing basic mediocre work, other people are going deep into the data, right? So it helped me. I was able to see what people have been doing. Then internships, I saw that for me to truly say, okay, I'm a data analyst or a data professional, I needed to work on something that other people can easily relate to, something that is real, right? Solving a real problem. That way, people, especially recruiters, can be able to see that this person, she knows what she's doing. She knows how to bring in analytical skills into the reward. Yeah, so that is how it has been able to help me.
All right, well done. Thank you very much for that. I believe we are all learning. I believe we are all learning. Okay, our let's hear from our judge again, who is a passer. I don't know. Ipasa, he said it's not Ipasa, he said passer. Okay, let's hear from a passer. And I don't know how many of you that are following this.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, yeah. So I didn't actually get the opportunity to be part of any internship program. Not like I didn't want to, but I didn't get the opportunity then. But so that's why I'm really happy about this whole setting, internship setting, for you to come gain experience in data analytics. I didn't get the opportunity to have this kind of internship. So, but I did participate in a lot of data competition. Of course, I didn't win a lot, but then there was a goal. The thing about data is when you keep practicing, you get exposed to different aspects of analytics. You get exposed to different data domains. You get exposed to
Yeah, I guess it's his network, and he'll be right back. Okay, so let's hear from Muba. Muba, are you there? While we wait for Ipasa.
Okay, hi. Yeah.
So the question, yeah, yeah, please go
Okay.
ahead. The question is, you okay? I think Ipasa is back. Let's. I guess is his network. I guess he's using Glow. He's not using MTN.
sorry, oh, it's good.
No
So,
problem. That's
so as I was saying, when you get to participate in this kind of internship setting and a lot of data challenge and all that, you get experience on how to tackle different data set, not just a particular set of data set. So that's basically how I developed myself. But if I had the opportunity to do it all over again and I get this kind of internship opportunity, I don't think I will hesitate to jump in And I was actually surprised. I was seeing a lot of reports on LinkedIn. I forgot that there was internship that was going on, so I was kind of wondering, is there is there something happening? And amazingly, yeah, I saw a lot of amazing reports. So, and one thing also, I don't know why people feel intimidated when you see a particular report that looks so nice. You don't know how old that person has been in the system. That was one of the things that happened earlier on. When you see, you don't need to get distracted. You see a lot of amazing reports, and you'll be wondering, but if you go check, that person has been doing this thing for the past, only God knows, but you just started. So you give yourself the opportunity to develop, and these are the things you need to do to develop yourself. And I can see what you guys have done. Like I said, with the data, it's an interesting data set, but I'm waiting to see what you guys have done so far. But
All right, so
yes,
all right, yeah, well done, Ipasa. So Ipasa is actually one of perfection in the industry, and of course, if you take it out on LinkedIn, you see a lot of things that the guy is doing well, right? So he's he's someone who has won different awards for this kind of thing, right? And you heard what he said. He said he never had this opportunity for an interview. And I can say actually for myself, I never had that opportunity. I remember 2021, Frontal Wave was, I think they were doing something like this internship. I applied for data science internship, and I applied for data analytics internship at Frontal Wave. I never had the opportunity. Um, what's the name of this? There's another company again, and that was 2021. First quarter or second quarter of 2021. Another organization again, that's I can't remember the name of this or something like that, right? I applied, and I even Access Bank and all that, right? I applied for some of all these things. I never had opportunity for this. And just like he said, this is a great opportunity for everyone to develop his or her skills, right? We're not here, when we started, we said something to you guys. We said, this is not a place for competition. No, but you're not competing with anyone. Now that you're competing with yourself, right? Don't feel intimidated when you see a lot of fine visuals out there. Just like he said, just like me asking myself, or you, that you're starting your career, right? And you are looking at a person's dashboard on LinkedIn, and you are saying, oh God, I'm not yet there. No, the guy has been in the industry and has been doing well for himself, putting a lot of effort to ensure that he is there. Right, so all you need to do is to learn from them. There's no intimidation, and just like what we got from you guys on your WhatsApp, with a lot of communications, right? Engagement, people asking questions, what do I need to do and how do I handle it? It shows that yes, you are here to learn. You're not here to feel intimidated. You're not here to compete with anyone. You're here to even learn, right? That's great one. All right, so let's hear from Buba. Buba, are you there?
Hi everyone. Yeah, it's been a pleasure being
This
here.
was time, this was time I've been on call with you.
What did you say?
I said this is my first time to be on call with you,
Okay.
to
Yeah,
be on
I think
live
so.
session.
So, internship is a great way, and actually, as I always mention, it's keep you developing yourself as an individual when it comes to career. I remember those years, like let's say 4 years ago, there are not this opportunity for like data anywhere down to come into data, no even excess information, talkless of community that will actually build you or you can like belong to that will help you develop. So 4 years ago there was no all of this. So everything started like 2 years ago and the community here in Nigeria has grown tremendously. Like in 2 years, that you are here now, you see opportunities like you've learned something and you want to like apply it. So me, I'm not more of internship people because then I think 2, 3 years ago, I have a community like this and what they actually do is hackathon. So hackathon makes you learn because you do peer not like peer pressure, but you see someone like how did they get this dashboard? How did they do these things? So, but from there, after the whole accounting session, they will do a review, give a resources that okay, these are things that help me feel good, these are things that help me learn better. And from there, you pick it up. Before you know, so in 1 month, 2 months, you two you are getting better than how you were before. And I believe as we all like participate in this one for this first project now, there are people has done before, even might be our first time. And we just do anything which compared to if you look back to it now, if you do next projects, you will get better than what you like did before. If you look at yourself maybe 2, 3 months ago, you will like how you are getting go. And that's how the process goes. So that person actually helped me, and then before I do internship, even when I get to the internship class, I think for AI, because my kind of internship was like a real life scenario, because I think that I had the opportunity with community then. So my first internship that I got, I think that was like 2022 October or October, if I can remember, was like a real life scenario because I was actually solving real life problem. The more as I'm doing because of the Power BI developer, so I think it would be called BI, working along with and I'm learning along with the senior BI in that role for that company then. So it's kind of a good thing to develop yourself to grow. So internship, academies, there are a lot of things you will do. We have a lot of things that you might not know me. I don't do anything. I don't build reports. I don't do anything more. I try to just learn from everyone here to just like get better too. So I'm still part of it. I'm learning like you people too as you are watching me here. So I'm learning. I'm learning the same thing here. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. And everyone is learning. Yeah, everyone is learning. Right. Thank you very much for that. I believe we are all learning as well others. Right. I want to believe that you are all learning. You hear how this guy started, right? None of us just wake up one day and then become this experts. There is this growth there, right? So I would like my colleague to take off from here. Hi, Sandra, you there?
Yes, I'm here, even though the network wants to frustrate my life. But then, yeah. So
I
we
want
have
to go.
actually seen a lot of submissions from you guys. So we had about over 150 people register. I don't know. Can you hear me? All right. So we had about 150
Almost
people
200.
register.
No, no, 200.
Yeah,
Almost 200.
almost 200. So over 150 people registered. But then the turnout was pretty low compared to those who showed interest. I do not know why that happened. Probably because of the national grid thing. Everybody was complaining there is no light in my area. And we actually understood. And then we agreed, right? We decided to extend um, the submission deadline. So we at the end of the day we got 63 people, or we got 63 submissions. Yeah, so wonderful submissions. But you guys know these things. We said it at the beginning of this internship that from these submissions we are going to select those who will move on to the next stage, right? So those we are going to select are going to be people who met the criterias, or who met the criteria for promotion to the next stage. So we have a task, right? We have an analysis task. It's an analysis of financial, or it's a data on financial consumer complaints for the Bank of America, and it shows records for 2017 to 2023. That is 6 years. Yeah, that's 6 years data, right? So and then for every task that you are given, there is always going to be an objective. And the objective for this task was to develop a dashboard or a report to help us identify significant patterns and trends in consumer dissatisfaction. So your analysis was primarily supposed to focus on uncovering the trends. That is, we want you to be able to detect and visualize trends in the complaint volume and types over the years. That is, has there been improvement over the years, or has the complaints increased or decreased over the years, right? And then we also wanted to see how you analyze the response effectiveness. We wanted you to assess the timeliness of we wanted you to access the timeliness of um, the Bank of America's staff towards the complaints. We also wanted you to identify recurring issues. We wanted you to highlight common problems faced by consumers and evaluate the Bank of America's staff effectiveness in addressing these issues. That is, how effective were these responses, right? And so far, we've seen like really cool submissions. I don't know if our guests have seen the submissions online on the LinkedIn, the hashtag Amdo Analytics internship. So I don't know, Ifasa. I don't spell your name again. All right, so Ifasa, have you
Yeah,
seen?
I've seen it.
Okay.
Yeah,
What
yeah, I
about
saw
you,
it. I
Muba?
saw it.
Okay.
I haven't. I haven't
Okay.
been on
But
LinkedIn for a while. Apologies.
all right. Okay, that's fine. All right. So we've seen some of these submissions and really, really great insight. Like we have been really, really amazed, with all your wonderful presentations. And then, okay, before we go into that, so I'm sure that the case studies have been shared with our guests, Muba and Ifasa. So just like to ask you quickly, what, like, you've gone through this data, you've gone through this case study, what were your expectations, or how would you approach this case study if you were the one? So I'll start with Ifasa. I think Ifasa has hooked up. Ifasa, can you hear me?
He
Yeah.
will be back
All
soon.
right.
I believe he's
um, okay, so Muba, have you seen the case study?
um
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So how would you approach, so not just this case study now, any case study in general, you are given a data to work on something, you have this objective. How would you approach the case study if you were the one, if you were the intern?
Okay. All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
yes, you
you.
can hear.
Okay. The case study revolves around customer complaints for a bank, like Bank of Industry, if I could get. So it's more centered on customer focus and customer review, which is when we say customer complaint, they are saying okay, the satisfaction or dissatisfaction of how customer perceive your company. So let's say for a product now, um, let's say for example, now there's a new maybe sweet that comes out, maybe a new chocolate sweet from maybe mini me, and people eat it. Some people might complain it's too sweet. Some people might say, this is like sugar is moderate. Some people might say, it's not sweet, you have more sugar. So everybody cannot have the same like positive feedback that I want to do. So same thing goes for a product. We all use products, we use things we used to do. And everybody here has a product that they do. It might not even actually be a product someone is using, but for you having a value inside of you that you dish out to people, like you give out, whether as a knowledge, as a speaking, as a writing, is a value that someone can give a feedback to. When they reply to your comments, when you build the dashboard and reply to your comment, people will make comments say, this is good, this is bad, this is so. That's same thing for the Bank of America. So anytime their product looks to what's it called, looks to customer complaints, so like there are three ways or three key things when you look into customer review or customer feedback when it comes to analytics. The first thing is the how what is the behaviorals or the demography of that complaint. So I want to like depends on the data that might be available, so, but it's like demography of that data. So if there is like age range or some type of races or some type of age demography, let's say adults, middle age, teenager that might come. So you might want to like tie that to that complaint. So those are things you can look at demography of the customers first. So the second one is you look at when you look at the customer demography, you see a lot of things you can bring out from the type of customers. Are they middle class? Are they new customers? Are they old customers? Are they age? Are they young? There are a lot of things you can bring. Gender, the type of things that they want like say tied to the what's it called, to the analysis of the complaint, the insights you might want to like communicate at the end of the day. So the second one, in For the second one, you look at the company's resolution effectiveness. How were they, are they proactive or are they reactive? So when it comes to resolution in customer analytics, sorry. So we have proactiveness, we have reactiveness. So reactiveness is when they raise this complaint, how fast were they able to like solve it, they solve the issue. So you can look at that kind of analysis too. So that's the second thing you can look at. So proactiveness is you now doing foresight of okay, maybe you're making a condition like based on things that maybe based on the demography and the complaint that has come, how can you propose to them that okay, they can litigate and minimize the risk of like having that kind of issue again. So that's being proactive as you as an analyst involved in that issue. That's the second thing you look at when it comes to customer feedback analysis or complaint analysis based on the data. So the third one is the third one based on the data is you look at the type of you can look at the sentiment of that complaint. So because Power BI or the tools you are using, analysis doesn't look at more of prescription, which is prescriptive analysis for you to do word and generic, but you can look at it yourself and categorize based on some use words. Look at the sentiment of that type of people. Like, are people angry? Are people like happy? Are people like satisfied with it? You can like create that into like look at the sentiment, so you will know these are things that will like, okay, what can we do to reprimand some people that are angry? What are we do to reprimand as a company because they need to perform better. The end goal of every company is for if the customer are not happy, the bank will not see customer. They will have a lot of churn where they will have people leaving the bank. It has happened to me in real life. There are banks I don't use anymore like PBA. So because I have my account with them and I don't use them anymore. So and there are banks that even though like GT now, I'm forever sticking to GT no matter. I don't use OPay, I don't use all this microfinance bank. So when GT has the issue like we have doing migration recently, so I call them. They're like, okay, you know what, you can do this. I say I understand, but because I'm a data person and I've been into migration project before, so I know how frustrating my so but you guys should just stop my money and stuff. And I talk to me like easily, unlike how you did it for me like maybe 2, 3 years ago. I even dump them, I don't use them anymore. So you can look at the sentiment and you know how to control whether the customer will churn. I work in a food tech, so I do more of this I work around all the departments in my company, so I understand how to like relate each of everything to each other. So I've seen how a customer feedback, like how a customer support agent talk to a client and the client churn because he doesn't like how they communicate. And it's very like one of our top clients. And I was like, and I look at the data and it's like those are things you need to like look at. So I mentioned the first one is look at the customer demography. If I'm approaching this kind of like analysis, so the second one is look at company effectiveness, which is are they reactive, are they proactive, like how long it take them to resolve an issue. So you look at the duration, the time it takes. Is there an SLA for them? Like one by SLA is service level agreement, maybe set by the department or the company that okay, if anybody raises a complaint, maybe in next 2 hours, 3 hours, it should be resolved. So if they don't resolve it at that time, so it will be the agent's performance, like the agent's performing would it be an issue for them because they need to be they need to be like what's it called maybe I won't say punishment but a penalty for you like defaulting the SLA because you defaulting the SLA will affect the customer and once customer is affected there's what we call customer obsession. So anything regarding every company is the customer obsessed. So anything affecting customer it affect the company what's it called ROI. Anything that they affect customer will affect customer as what's it called companies ROI. So these are the things you need to like do company resolution effectiveness and then you look at the last one I mentioned is after you look at agent involvement and how customer feels that sentiment contributes to companies maybe retention or churns leaving the companies or adding more companies to them. So I think those are three key things that will be based on the case studies I've seen and the the data. Yeah, so that I will like if I will approach it as as an intern, putting myself in my shoe. Yeah, because when I started, I won't have like those kind of things. as time goes by, I looks like gather more business, solve business challenges, and come this solution across the years. So I've been able to like add more. So those are things I would like look at that is more important
All right.
in anything
Yeah,
that is
thank
possible.
you very much, Muba. Like, I really liked what you said because you are, looking at the proactive, not just the reactiveness, right? Because at the end of the day, whatever affects your customers affects you as a brand, as a company, or whatever, or as a business, right? So, what I would, or what I expected, right, from even the interns, although I've seen so many nice submissions, what me personally I expected to see was that the analysis should focus on how this company can serve their, or how the bank rather can serve their customers better, right? So before I go into that, Ifasa, welcome back. How are you doing?
Yeah, thank you. Can you
Okay.
hear me?
So
I'm
yes, we
sorry,
can
I'm
hear
calling.
you. So we can hear you, right? Um, you've seen this data, right? How would you? We've heard from Muba how he would
Yeah,
approach
I've
this
seen the
data.
data.
Yes, and I'm sure a lot of like you guys are taking notes because he really brought out nice steps of how he would approach the data. All right, so moving on to you, Ifasa, how would you approach this data if you were an intern with us? How would you approach the data, the case study in general?
Well, okay. So I think basically the first thing I would do
If I start turn
is,
off your video, are you?
can you hear me? Okay,
Yes,
should
we
I
can hear
maybe
you.
should
Can
I
you off
if
your
I put
video?
off the
Like turn off the video. Maybe
uh,
that.
maybe it will be better. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, we
Yeah, we
can
can
hear
hear
you.
you.
Okay, yeah. So basically, first thing I'll do is identify how many complaints do we have here to start with. How many complaints do we have here? Then I think the next thing I would want to know is how often were these complaints submitted? Because you have the date they were submitted. So I want to know how many complaints we have, how often were these complaints submitted. I want to see the trend of how these complaints were submitted. Then, of course, the complaints were submitted through different channels. I don't know if everybody can hear me, please, so that I will not look like I'm talking to myself.
We
Yeah,
can
we
hear
can
you.
hear
Please.
you.
Okay, so yeah, the complaints were also submitted through different channels. So this is me trying to break my report down into probably like two sections or three sections. It depends on what I've been asked to do. The first section is me providing an overview of the complaints that we have. I just want to tell you about the complaints. These are the complaints that we have. These are how the complaints are being received, how often the complaints come in. These are the major sources of the complaint. So the reason we're doing all this is so you can easily identify the major source of the complaint. Then we can go down to the issue itself. The issue itself. What is the major issue? Is it incorrect information? What are the major issues? So I want to just provide a brief overview of what the problem is. So once I'm done doing that, of course, I know the complaints are also coming from different states. So I can actually identify also the states where most of the complaints are coming from. Then I would want to see a breakdown. Yes, if I identify that this is the state most of the complaints are coming from, I want to know the kind of complaint coming from that direction and how often they come also and the major source of the complaint also. So once that is done, the next thing is now response. You've identified all the complaint. You've provided me with the information on how this complaint they flow. The next thing is now response. First, I know there was timely response there. Yes, timely response will tell me if the complaint was attended to on time. That's one. Now, the next thing I would want to see, there was a date between when the complaint was submitted and when the complaint was received. Or no, I can't see a date when the response was provided, but between when the complaint was submitted and when the complaint was received, I want to believe there is a timeline between those two dates you have there. So I want to then know the difference. I don't know what I would do now if the timeline I'm going to work with days timeline or I'm going to work with minutes. I have to get more information. This is where you can ask some questions. But because of what we have here, you work with what you have here. The difference between the two times. Now I checked the difference and I noticed that I'm seeing some one, some two, some three. There was a time I saw 20. So now, for example, one means one day. The complaint was submitted, it was received, and was responded to within a day. Now, there were complaints that were not attended to on time. I discovered that the time between when the complaint was submitted and when it was received, the number of days in between was 20. So that automatically tells me, first thing, yes, we are attending timely response. Yes, that's what I got. Yes. So a large percentage of the complaints we responded to on time. That's good. But I also want to know how timely was this response? Because ideally, I should have a target time. If it's a banking system, I should have a target time for each of the complaint. Even my complaint have been grouped into different type of complaint, so I should have a target time. Like this is my target time. I want to make sure that every complaint is responded to within a day. So if I'm seeing that complaints, even though it's untimely, they are being responded to within a day, but my target should be like, I want you to respond to this complaint within the next 12 hours, resolve everything. It's a banking issue. So if somebody is complaining about fraud, I don't expect you to wait a day before you respond to that person. So that's what I would then want to look at before I would go further to see the ones that were not responded to on time. How long did they take? Uh, so I get to see that some of them that were not responded to on time, they took a long time. In fact, almost 20 days, or if it's days we're working with, almost 20 days. With that, I can now provide critical suggestions to the bank to tell them that, okay, even though you are responding to these complaints on time, you you need to improve on it. Then these are the major areas your complaint are coming from. So you can channel your efforts towards that area. So what I'm basically trying to say is, if you have a lot of complaint coming from, let's say, the web, and is majorly on debt collection, you can then train staff around that area so that they can resolve. You can always attend to those kind of complaints as fast as possible. Then you looking at how frequent the complaints are coming, you can even go as far as checking the month, the day, so you can then know how you can manage your manpower. So that's what bank does. Sometimes you see that in a bank on Mondays you see a lot of customer care, but when you come like on Fridays, or on Fridays also, but like Wednesday, Thursday, you just see few people. But on Mondays, when they know that a lot of people have issues during the weekend already, so when they are coming on Monday, they are going to hit them hard. So those are just the few things I'll look at, and if there's any other thing and more. But that's basically how I'll just approach the report. Just a two-page. The first page is the overview summarizing the entire complaint. The second page is how the complaint were being handled. Then probably the third page is me just offering suggestion and insight on what they can do to improve, and what they need to also probably include to get more feedback. You can actually include maybe a session to get feedback from the customer if they were happy with how the complaint was resolved or not. Those are just the few things I'll probably just look at.
Thank you very much, Ifasta. You said something similar to what Muba said. He talked about segmentation, right? You talked about
Exactly.
segmenting
Cinnamon
your
bad.
analysis, right? So you talked about segmenting your analysis. You have an overview page that talks about, okay, these are the complaints that you are having. Then you have to like go deep, going further into analyzing the data. Where exactly are these complaints coming from? Because you need to know where these complaints are coming from, by state, by channel. And you talk and you actually said something that really that I thought about when I was going through, or when myself and Sherry were going through the submissions. We noticed that a lot of people failed to do this while they analyze. This is the data that we have, and okay, we are going to analyze this data. There was no deep thinking, like, into, okay, we have this, although we have a timely response column, right? But nobody even thought to think about, okay, so we have this date submitted and then we have this date received. Like you said, you also did your analysis and you saw that some complaints were received like above, or yeah, above, maybe over 10 days, which is really bad. because with that is you have lost your customer, or maybe you might even lose your customer, like Muba, right? Muba said he doesn't use UBA anymore because of one or two. I don't know why. All right. So if you don't attend to your customers on time, definitely you are going to have problems later in the future. That is when we'll start saying, oh, my customers are churning. Why are customers churning? Right? So timely response, even though we can see in the columns that okay, this complaint was responded to on time, how um how timely was it? Right? I even saw it myself that the date a that there are some complaint or there were some complaints that were submitted a particular day, and it took about 5 days before the staff received it, which is poor. Another thing that I also expected from ETENS was okay, fine, we are seeing these two dates. Does it that does it mean that the channel of submission also matters or also play a key role in timely response? Is it that complaints submitted via the web are treated with more priority compared to other channels? I don't think I saw any insight like that, which means that most of you guys, sorry to say, but most of you guys didn't really go deep. While you did really well, but you didn't like really go deep. I was seeing a lot of limitations. Oh, this data set has blanks, it has this and that, but nobody even thought to even go that far, right? If you are going to show yourself or stand out, you need to think or go the extra mile, think outside the box. What is it that people are not seeing that you can? That is how we would know that okay, you are really good at what you do. Oh, Toluwanimi said he did that. Toluwanimi, I thought you said the project was good, but you wanted to die. All right, so that is wonderful. Thank you very much, Ifasa, for showing us or telling us how you would approach it. You really walked us through um, nice steps. Okay, so moving on. This one is for you, Chinyere. What's the best way to handle dirty data set? Because we saw from a lot of people that the data set, I think the issue most people were having was that the data set was or contained blanks and all of that. I even saw one that deleted the rows because it contained blanks. Hmm. So let's hear from you, Shinyeri. Like that really happened. I noted it down in my observation. Somebody deleted the rows because it contained blanks. And I was like, okay. So let's hear from you, Shinyeri. How would you approach dirty data set, or how would you handle it if you were an intern?
Right. Well done, everyone. So, what I want to say in general for what everyone has said concerning how they would have approached the data set if they were the interns, right? At the end, what everybody's looking at is how do I solve problems? Okay, how they would have solved the problems, right? Because at the end of everything, what we are looking at, if you are an analyst, right? Let's use that word analyst, data scientist, data analyst, program, anything, right? You are looking at how do I solve organizations' problem. Now, Uma said something, as a let me say as a BI analyst in an organization, nobody cares about how you do all these things, right? What they care is how you solve the problem, right? So the data set we share with you guys has issue. So the Bank of America is facing an issue and they needed someone that will help them to do what? To solve the problem. You understand? So at the end of everything, look at the data, understand the data. That's actually what I do tell my students, right? Data understanding is important. Now, if you are very good with data analytics, I call it okay, let me leave that word because not everybody is data analyst here. But then you need to understand that there is what we call business understand or business issue understanding, right? So you need to understand the data at that point, try to understand the data, understand the sector, understand what it does, understand who are the stakeholders, where the main knowledge comes in, right? So you need to understand your data first. So when they give you data, don't just jump into that. Look at what the pastor said. He said a lot about the data set, what he will have, although I don't want to use most of his words because he's boss now. Okay, we can't start saying about. I know that like, let me say like 2 or 3 years ago, he wouldn't have think like this, right? So we all started somewhere. Okay, so thank you very much, everyone, for that wonderful contribution on how you handle the data sets. And everybody, I believe that we are all learning. We are all learning. So let's come back to how you would have handled the data. I would have handled the data set if I am to face with the data set, right? Now, first thing I do tell my students, right, please, before you delete any row, any column, okay, let's use that word column. Before you delete any column, let's say you're working for an organization for life, before you delete any column, please confirm that that column is not useful, right? Because my Sonia said something that someone said, I just deleted that column. It's not advisable, right? I worked with someone reached out to me to person got job. Okay, he was working on with the data set. He was like, okay, these are the data set, this is the original data set, I'm stuck, this is what I need to do and all that. Okay, from the original data set they shared with the guy from what he has done, I was like, okay, where is this column on this data set? It's like, I've deleted it now. You just deleted, and this is not like the normal dummy data set. This is organizations data set. They share this data, and the guy just got the job, right? I was like, wow, that's amazing. Please, when you're working, please do not delete any column on any organization, right? On any data set share with you for life, do not delete it, right? Now, you that want to, that's actually where domain knowledge comes in, right? Find out what that column is. Do you need to leave it blank? Right? Find out from the stakeholders. That's where domain knowledge comes in, right? You need to understand the organization, how they are, what it works, and all that, right? So, do I need to delete the data sets? Do I need to delete the rows, or do I need to fill it, right? Or do I need to even use NA to fill it? But now let's come to data analytics or data analyst phase of it, right? Now, data analyst phase of it is that there's what we call measure of central tendency, right? We all know this thing, the mean, median, mode, right? So when you're working with numerical data and you got a lot of blanks there, so a lot of people used to say, oh, can you please use the no to fill it, or use not available to fill it and all that, right? Well, you might use that, but that is still not yet there, right? So if you want to prove your expertise, now the best way to handle that is to use what? This measure central tendency. Right now, I am working on numerical data sets. Now, what do I need to use to fill it, especially when it is over, when it is below 60% of the row that is empty. Please take note of it. When it is below 60% of the row, that is empty. When it's above 60%, now a lot of people used to say delete it or fill it, it's not available or not applicable or thereabouts, right? So, but let's believe that it's below, right? Below 60% of the data set that is empty. Now, what do I need to do? Now, I thought about the measure of central tendency where we have the mode, right? Now we have the mean. Now, if you are looking at numerical data sets, right, please use the mean to fill it. Now, how do I know when to use the mean to fill my my row? Now, you need to understand there's what we call outlier, right? Look at the mean, look at the mean, right, and look at the median, right? If the difference between the mean and the median and not too much, right? And not there is no outlier, you use the mean to fill it, right? I believe that we all know this. I believe that I'm not speaking so advanced. We use the mean to fill it, right? Now, if you're looking at categorical data, you use mode, which is the highest frequency. Use the mode to fill your data. Now, if you have gone advanced, that's where you start using all this terminology that I'm talking about, right? But let's say that I am working, let's say I am a beginner, because that's actually where I started my own before I got to know about the measure of central tendency and how to use it to fill. Let's say that I'm working on the data set, and that data set has about, let's say it's about 20 rows of data sets. And out of the 20 rows of data set, I find out that 15 or 5 of them are empty. I am just exaggerating. 5 of them are empty. What do I need to use? What do I do with that empty? Do I fill it? Or do I delete it? The answer is please do not delete it. Okay? Do not delete it. So you can use something like not NA right? Not applicable, to fill it, or not found, to fill it. Do not delete it. Or you can use, if it's numerical value, column, you can use 0 to fill it, to replace the no, right? So it depends on how to approach it. So you need to understand these terminologies. If you have gone that advanced to understand, oh, I don't even need to do this, I need to use mean to fill in this thing. Why not go ahead? If you know that, oh, I need to use mean to to fill it, understand that before you use mean to fill your numerical value, find out the outlier, make sure that the difference between the mean and the median are not too much before you be able to use that. I believe that with that being said, we'll be able to we have understood how we can actually handle blanks. I mean, you mean blanks, right? Not data set
Blanks,
entirely.
yeah, because yes, okay, yeah, dirty data set entirely. But the main issue that our interns had were the blanks. And someone said, okay, not just someone, two people. Amadi, I'm not going to call your first name because I don't want any problems. Right. So Amadi said those blanks were not really blanks. The definition of columns, that is the data dictionary, helps to explain those blanks. Interesting. Idara Favor said all of the blanks were as a result of the in progress status in the company response to the consumer. Do you see this? So it means that the blanks were not really blanks. It was as a result of something. So it's only those who did their, thorough research, who researched, looked at that data thoroughly, that were able to, understand this. But most people, because you just see blanks and you're like, okay, this is dirty, this data set is dirty. No, you need to actually check the data. And like Cherry said, this is where domain knowledge comes in. If you understand what each feature, or let me say what each column means, then you'll be able to know, okay, is this blank an error, or is it part of what this column is all about, right? And that is why we provided you guys with a data dictionary, because we know that in every organization their data are always defined, right? Their data sets are always defined, so that it just helps you to, or it points you in the right direction. All right, so thank you very much, Chinri. Thank you very much for your input on how to undo dirty data set. Okay, so moving on. Um, this is another interesting question. So why should you pay attention to insights rather than charts? When we're going through the submissions, we noticed that a lot of interns paid so much attention to the type of chart that they made use of. I was seeing someone putting, I used a pie chart, I used a whatever. The that's not the importance, or that's not what we are even looking for. We are looking All right, so we are looking, sorry about that, it was my network. So we're looking for how we can help the Bank of America curb these complaints, right? How we can help them avoid customers churning the bank. Because if your customers churn the bank, it also affects the ROI, like Muba said. And ROI simply means return on investment, right? So it will affect it. So instead of paying attention to the type of visual that you use, why not pay attention to how, or why not focus your analysis, your report on how this bank can actually, help their customers better? So which brings me to my question. So why should you pay attention to insights rather than charts? All right, so this is for you, Muba.
Sorry, I couldn't get a question well. I can
So the
hear me.
question, yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. So the question is,
Sorry, is it only me? Can you-
what's that?
I don't think I can hear anybody again.
But I can hear you.
Okay,
I
the
can hear you,
question.
Sandra. So the question she asked, right? Amuba, can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah.
So the question is, when we got the submission, a lot of people pay more attention to charts, right, than looking at insights. So once you are intake, when you see people, or let's say you are the one, or when you are a starter, right, or when you see people pay more attention to kind of charts they use for their analysis instead of paying attention to the insights.
Um, as an intern, because let's say I'm in their position, so while making my comments and my view the other time, it's because of what I've learned across the years too, based on like solving keeping stuff. So for those of us that are new, like we're just like this internship is just like us like gather experience and learn through the process. So I always mention one thing is repetition is the key to mastery. Irrespective of anything you want to like learn, so you need to like do something for you to like know how to like apply that to for something first. So for people that like do more charts, for them to like okay, we can use like look at this, look at this, look at this, and present in the charts. It's a great progress. So while looking at insights, because insights don't make will make people glued to your analysis that you will to like explain you actually know how you want to like help them to resolve it because the end goal of yourself, your watchword as an analyst is accuracy and insights. Because if you cannot gain something from what you like be able to like come up with, all what you do is useless. Exactly. Because nobody wants to be the product that nobody will use. So the end goal of everything that will make you fulfill as an analyst is all those struggle, all those darks, all those cleaning, all those days that you spent, even months. You might also analyze that will take you months to like finish. And someone like making use of it at the end of the day and they are making decisions based on it. So when we're talking about insight, then we look at okay, what is actually the cause of this issue? You can look at the roots, like okay, why is there actually customer complaints in a bank? I use myself as an example. I don't use it again because there is a bank. And what was the reason I don't use them again? I opened UBA then and I think it's around 2021 or first what I remember 2021. So I got a payment to my UPA account and they will say I exceeded like my limits cannot like go for the money that I got to my account. Like they flagged my account as a fraud and stuff. I'm like, this is not a fraud. Like, you can see what this is what I do and this is what comes in for it. They gave me days that they will resolve these things and this keep coming to a point and still after the like later increase waive the limit it doesn't like even still come back to my satisfaction like I'm telling you guys anything less than I can do transaction limit of like maybe 5 million in a day and you're telling me no I cannot do that and stuff and that's the reason I thought and not the only reason the excess charges account that I'm not using and you keep charging me. So I just left my money. I think I left the money for like 5,000 something till they deduct everything finish. They're now calling me maybe I think earlier this year that okay, and that's part of another issue. So you need to like look at the pain points in which this response are coming from. Apart from like data exploration is very exploring the data is very it takes time than what's it called? It takes time than you actually doing the work. Because this from exploring the data, you will know, okay, what can I look at? Put yourself in the shoe of that complaint. Let's say, okay, use a bank. What are the basic things bank has shown you? You yourself in this Nigeria. If you look at that way, it's the own complaint. You will know that okay, there are a lot of things you will do. There are things you will go to bank yourself that will tell you that okay, in next 48 hours, 48 hours will be taking like 4 days, 3 days, and they say they're still working on it. So there are other things like you can look in that aspect so and relate it with what is in the data. That's just how you can bring out insight. So that is one. And then the second thing is after you looking at them, you look at it, okay, what can you think? Now that we have AI that can actually help, you can even give to AI. AI will not take your job actually. But if you know how to like use AI very well, you will actually be top in the industry. So you can give it to AI like, okay, this is what you think based on this data. Like Don't just give the AI that, okay, give me something. No, this is what you think and this is what you have looked at. Look, based on what you have looked at, what can it look based on your own idea, and it can look from its own point of view. So to give you something that you can like come up that can help some people here, maybe based on that. So you don't just like have those extensive domain knowledge, maybe people in the industry, but AI can actually help you to like give you some ideas on how you can approach some part of all these things. So, but as I mentioned again, repetition is the key to mastery. We're just learning, and if you keep doing it till the end of the year, like let's say every week, you will get better. You will get better. If Asa is not here, if Asa like 2 years ago, I call him like Mr. Rainbow. Like I said, we call him Rainbow. So because when he started to like you do rainbow chat, he doesn't understand like that just process. Even me too here. So when I started to, I saw some dashboard that would look like God. Even my own first dashboard in my life that I started data analytics 2 years ago was not these people that you guys build dashboard now. Because then I would just like put charts together, no color alignment, no layout alignment, no anything. We just put charts, just learn. And the more we keep repeating, the more we keep repeating, we learn along the way. We see other people's work, learn from them, and pick idea from them. So everyone here has done a very great job. And I mentioned again, it's just like a process for you of learning. Take it as process learning. Based on all this review and the feedback you get, you can go back to the analysis. Even let's say in 3 4 months or 6 month time, and you look back yourself how you go and you look back to this data that you do as internship, you'll be able to see more insights than what you built first in the first time. Because I think there was a year I built one dashboard in 2022, and in 2023 I was like looking back to that same data set, and what I built in that same data set were very different with what I built with the first data set in 2022. Because I've been able to like gather more experience, I've been able to like learn through the process, and I see things in different perspective compared to the first time I start. So take this as just a learning process. Everybody here has done a great work. And if you look back to it again in 3 4 months, if you keep repeating the same process, like keep building yourself, you can be able to like do more better compared to what you have done now. So yeah, I think that's what I would just say regarding to more of insights. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much, Muba. So the thing is, we really shouldn't be focusing on. Can you hear me,
We can hear you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Sherry? Can I be heard? All right, okay.
I can hear
So
you.
the thing is, we really shouldn't be focusing on insight. And like what Muba said, he so there was this data set that he worked on. Then after some time, like he has already gained the needed experience, he knows what to do now to make his report stand out. When he worked on the data again, he realized that, oh, he has actually like grown. So it's really not about the charts. I remember when I first started myself, you come online, you will see people building dashboards, and you will think that data analysis is all about building visuals, doing all sorts of, you be like, oh wow, this visualization is so fine. But the thing is, I don't know who said that. Was it Ifasa? I think it was Ifasa. He said, if at the end of the day, your analysis is just, beautiful, but it's not delivering any insight, then you just did rubbish. Or we could call it beautiful nonsense, because nobody is going to use it. We can hang it on a wall or something, maybe in a museum or something, but you need your dashboard to be able to tell your audience something, to be able to give them the insight that they want. It's not all about bringing in pie charts. While so the reason why we even asked this question was because when we went through some of your articles, where we realized that so many people focus on the technicalities more than the insights. We want to solve a problem, but you are telling us about the darks. That fine, we said, okay, give us your methodology. We didn't say uh give us everything. You can summarize your methodology. What we really want is the insight. How can we solve this problem? A lot of you focused on this is the darks I use. Maybe you were trying to prove to us that, okay, I'm so
All right, so I think it's her network. She'll be back soon. So while we are doing that, right? So I just want us to, because the plan of this program is to spend highest 1 hour 30 minutes. It's actually 1 hour, but the max is 1 hour 30 minutes. So that we can rest for the day. Now I want us to do something quickly. So while we wait for Epasa, because I would like Epasa to to drop his own sense on this, right? Why people should focus more on insight. So I want to go back to Dick's your submission. Now I will don't be offended if I call your name and tell you the areas that you need to improve yourself, because that's the goal of everything here. Okay, so Oku Faith Ikenna. Okay, so your post on Medium, right, states yes, Muba. Thank you very much. All right, so this is very, very important section now. So we okay. Um
Hello.
yes, I can hear you. I can hear you. So please let's take a passer. Let's hear his own sense about people using so much chat and not bringing out insights, what he can, and his advice to them on how people need to, bring out insight from their data instead of focusing on different charts.
Well,
Hi, Pastor.
yes, I can hear you. I can hear you. So, how do we bring out insight instead of focusing on different charts? So, one thing before now. So, I wouldn't say anyone shouldn't should I say focus on charts now? Yes, I do focus on. I do use a lot of charts, but then there's a clear cut between you just using a chart and you using a chart with purpose. What I mean with purpose is you can use I can see I've seen a situation where you're trying to use different charts or you're using the wrong chart to tell a different story eventually. So you're just using the chart, but the chart doesn't have a purpose. That's one thing. In fact, I saw a report on LinkedIn not quite long now. The report is actually really nice, very fine, and with some insights. But then there are two big charts there on the report already that they are not saying anything. They don't have any use because it's a funnel chart and the report is actually displaying on the funnel January, February, March, April, May. Already that chart is being used out of context already. So I feel like okay, the chart is good, but then you're using it out of context already. So there's a clear difference between when you're using a chart and when you're using the right chart. You can create your report, create your dashboard with a lot of charts, but the charts should be purposeful. Now, your insight needs to come. If I want to show the number of complaints received, of course, I'll put a card there. If I then want to show how these complaints are coming, of course, I will use a chart to also show you the frequency of this complaint, how they are coming from the different sources. I can use a line chart to show you the trend also, like I said. But then I'm being purposeful in the chart that I'm selecting. And one trick I normally use to try to determine how this thing would, how the chart should come and how it should flow is I get to ask myself questions. So when I ask the question, I want to see the answer. Then I then realize if the answer, I just need a card visual to put as the answer, or I need to create a chart to say the answer. This is the answer to the question. Now, if I want to see of all the complaints, how many of these complaints were resolved on time and how many were not resolved on time? So I can say complaint resolution. I can then just simply take somebody's accusing pie chart. Then I can then bring a donut chart to just show you the percentage of complaints that were resolved on time and just the percentage that were not resolved on time. Just a small donut chart. But then I don't have any business carrying a bar chart to go and do that, right? I just have two fields. Why would I want to use a bar chart? At the same time,
So when you are able to figure out everything out, the next thing now becomes, how do you tell this story? Now, remember, you are creating this report. This is an internship in the real sense, okay? So you are creating the report. Ask yourself, who am I creating the report for? The reports I create at work, if I show you the reports, they are just reports with, I only have bar charts and table, matrix. Those are the two things I have there. I don't have any other thing. But it's a report the company uses. Yes, I have some few card visuals, which means whatever they want to see, I'm just using a table to tell the story. The most important thing is the insights. But then go for the insight first, then determine the chart that will communicate the insight best. Don't just pick the chart first and start visualizing. No. Go for the insight. Ask yourself this insight now. This question, ask yourself the questions, like I said, just bring down the questions. Most times before I create a report, I must have like two sheet of papers with me already that I've been writing a lot of things inside. I've just been writing a lot of things that this I will use a bar chart, this I will use. But before I start creating the report, I must have written out all the insights, possibly the questions I will ask and the answers to them. So by the time I want to answer the question, I now determine which chart will best answer the question. And one other thing, one final note, don't complicate issue. The reason sometimes people want to complicate issue is because they notice that they are using bar chart, maybe bar chart, and the next one is still a bar chart. They say, no, let me go and look for a way to use a scatter plot or a, what is it called? One serious chart like that. No. The best chart that communicates your finding is the best chart you should go for. Yes, there are some principles already laid down. If you want to display a timeline over a long time, you should use a line chart. There are some basic principles. But then when you are doing that also, always pick the best chart that will tell the insight. Regardless of whatever that, if you've used bar chart all through the report and bar chart is the best that will communicate the insight, pick a bar chart. It's that simple. So if you go for the insight, you would know if you are going to use the right chart or not. But if you go for the chart and you want to just make it interesting, complicate everything, create scatter plot and make the report so that it doesn't look boring, like it's only bar chart you have all through. Don't fall into that trap. Pick the chart that communicates the insight. It's that simple. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for that wonderful contribution, Epasa. I really appreciate it. I believe that our audience are learning. Okay, there is a question here. I think, please, can you permit me to, to go through the feedback, because we need to give you guys the feedback, right, before we can dive into the question and answer. Someone is asking, when is a funnel chart necessary? Professor, can you take that before so that I move to the other thing? When is a funnel chart necessary?
Okay, so the funnel chart, yes, there was a time, so the funnel chart is actually meant to depict anything that has to do with stages. What I mean stages now, the few times I've used the funnel chart is when I get to analyze sales data, CRM data. Those CRM data, they normally pass through a pipeline. They call them a pipeline. It's not really like a pipeline, physical pipeline, but it's just like a bank coming to recruit customers, right? So they go out, they have their sales agents. They go out, first of all. They approach as many people they want to approach, talk about opening an account with them, right? Out of the people they've approached, let's say they've approached 100 persons. So they have a funnel. They want to know, out of the 100 persons they approached, how many of them finally opened an account. So they've already documented the stages it will take for someone to open an account, which means first they approach you, a marketing team will approach you. One, they will take your details. That means you've entered their funnel. That's the funnel they've designed for themselves. The organizations have the same different funnel. Now, the next thing, they conduct a follow-up. By the time they conduct a follow-up, how many of the people responded? They'll put it in another funnel. How many people now came to the bank to open an account? After opening the account, they want to know finally how many of them performed any transaction. So it's like is demonstrating different stages. Now, the easiest way to identify that is like employment, right? How many people were called for interview? 1,000 were called for interview. After stage one, how many people were remaining? So amount of people. Stage two, how many people were remaining? So amount of people. Then stage three, oral interview, how many people were remaining? Stage four, whatever interview they conducted again. Then finally, how many people were employed? So it's more like a stage. It shows you the different stages it passed through. The last report I created now was an email marketing campaign. I used the funnel chart in one of the visuals. Why did I use the funnel chart? Because the marketing campaign, they have a target. They want you to make a purchase. So how does the marketing campaign work? They send you a mail, right? They expect you to click on the mail. By the time you click on the mail, they want to know if you're going to buy whatever campaign they are selling, they are sending across your way, if you're going to make a purchase. So they design a funnel. The first thing is how many emails were sent. They check. This is a number of emails they sent. How many of the emails that were sent were open? So they check the progression from sent to being open. Now, it's one thing to open the email. They want to see how many also clicked on the link they attached to the email for you to see the campaign. They will not check how many clicked on the link. Now, how many subscribe after clicking on the link? They want to check also. Then finally, how many of them even bother to make a purchase? So once you see that kind of scenario, that's when the funnel chart comes into play. That's the only scenario the funnel chart comes into play, when you have different stages that you want to visualize. Outside that, the funnel chart doesn't have any other business with what is it called? Date, time, series, or any other thing. It doesn't have any business with it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Efasa. That's a great one, very insightful contribution. All right, thank you very much. I just pray that there will be time for us to take a question and answer. Please, we want to take time now to give the feedback, okay? My colleague, Sandra, will take that, but let me continue before she joined this section. Right. So Efasa, thank you very much. Efasa, you can drop. Efasa, you can drop if you don't mind. Thank you very much. I do appreciate you. I don't want to take much of your time. Yeah, I don't want to. Please let's keep the question for now. Let's take the your feedbacks, okay? Please, let's keep the question now so that we don't get distracted. This is very important now, okay? Okay, now let's start with Oku Faith Ikenna. Oku Faith Ikenna, right? So, on your Medium, right? That's a great one. Then on your Medium, what you tag there is, our name is not Amado, right? Our name is Amdo Analytics, not Amado, right? So, not just for that, okay? So, and I just believe that my battery will carry me to explain everything here. Henley Onyema. Okay, so Henley Onyema, and what you posted, right? No list and Medium article, not detailed and no insight from the data. You just posted it that way, and which is not what we want from you guys. All right, not what we want from you. Okay, time will not permit us to go through one by one, but I just wish that we can actually do that because of our time. But let me just go through the feedback. Maybe during the week we can just come together to talk about the feedback, but if time permits us, right? So the feedback, so what I will say here is that you guys, a lot of people, just like what Efasa and other persons have said, a lot of you guys were focusing on charts, like charts. Imagine someone using pie chart, like pie chart for trend analysis, okay? Your trend analysis is not meant to be on pie chart. Instead, use it on line chart, okay? Now, this is very, very, in fact, it's common among everybody that visualize this thing, all right? So please pay attention to your analysis. Pay attention to your analysis, not bringing out, getting a lot of charts and all that, right? So a lot of people visualize something like, okay, let me just explain this. Maybe this will help you. Now, when you want to use pie chart, please do not use pie chart when you know that you have more than three something to visualize. Okay, when you know you have more than three something to visualize, like a lot of people used pie charts where they have about 10 something to visualize, 10 items to visualize, and you are using pie chart. So what's the sense of using pie chart for that? Okay, it is not, not advisable, not advisable, right? So please, when you have two or three something to visualize, use pie chart. A lot of things that we notice with your analysis that I would have loved to go back and explain one by one. So that you want to say something? My battery is about to go. I don't want to.
All right. So
Okay,
yes.
for a lot
So
of people,
yes.
did not
Can you
tag
hear me?
us. Okay, please go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. So thank you very much. So I also have my own feedback to give, and I hope you can all hear Chinyere. She gave some really cool feedbacks. There were people that did not tag us, and we said that one of the criteria to move to the next stage is your attentiveness to instruction. Listen to instructions, right? Because a lot of you, I don't know why, there was an onboarding session, but still yet you still failed to tag us. And even those that wanted to tag us, they tagged us incorrectly. I don't know why. Maybe you guys didn't see the need, but it is one of the criteria to move to the next stage. But we are going to pardon some of you because of your really nice insight. We wouldn't want to say, okay, because you did not tag us, we are not going to move it to the next stage. So just some of you. So make sure if you are able to move on to the next stage this time around, make sure you follow the instructions. And I believe that we repeated these instructions multiple times. Then also, we saw that a lot of people were using first person singular pronouns like I analyzed, I created this dashboard, I use this. It is not about you. Nobody wants to know about you. People can know about you from your bio. This is your report. It is about the internship, not about you. So please, whenever you're trying to present an analysis, don't just try to avoid I did this. I also don't do it. Is not about you, because whenever you use that it shifts the focus from the analysis and then it focuses on what you can do. We don't want to see what you can do. We want to see how you've been able to, to provide insights and also give recommendations on how this bank can do better. Then also we talked about creating a medium list. Now this medium list will serve as your portfolio, but a lot of people do. Just few of you failed to do that, failed to create a medium list. And we said that this is one of the criteria to move on to the next stage. But we are also going to pardon because there is still time, right? So just in case you notice that you are not part of the stage 2, it means that you did not meet all of our criteria. Even though we said we are going to pardon, there are some of you that did not meet any of our criteria. Like some of you did not give us detailed insight into your analysis on your medium. It was just vague. And that's not what we want. We want something that will be able to, so let's assume we are your stakeholders, right? We are the Bank of America. We want insight that will be able to help us make strategic decisions. But then if your insights are not well detailed, then how do we make these strategic decisions? We also saw some sort of unseriousness in some of you, which we really didn't find pleasing. We saw somebody that said he felt bored and decided to partake in the internship. I mean, that just shows unseriousness. Sorry for the language, sorry for the word that I'm using, but it just shows unseriousness. I mean, how do you want people to see you outside? How do you want recruiters? Do you know that a lot of you are going to get jobs from this? People are going to reach out to you that, oh, I don't know. Okay, there was one life that myself and Ifasa had. He was my guest, and he told me that it was through posting on LinkedIn, posting his project on LinkedIn, that somebody reached out to him. That was how he got his first data analysis gig. But then somebody is saying, okay, even though you did a really good work, and then the person now sees, I felt bored and I decided to. It just shows on seriousness. It shows that you don't know what you are doing. So please mind the language, mind what you post on LinkedIn. Be professional about just be professional. Okay. That person automatically, I don't think you're going to move on to the next stage, because it just shows us that you're not like, we can't count on you. Sorry about that. And wrong
Sandra, please
visual
permit
story.
me to say something.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Please, can you permit me to say something so I
Okay,
won't
please.
forget? Yeah. So I'm sorry. I will call the name of this person, right? Okay. I'll just call your first name. Your name is Stella. Okay. So your post on LinkedIn, right? You said I did something. I did something with Amda Analytics. I don't know what you did with Amda Analytics, but it doesn't sound professional, right? So I don't think that I did 18. That's how she put it. I did 18 with Amda Analytics. Like, I don't know, it doesn't sound good, right? So, well, I don't know, but how you present yourself out there. So how you present yourself out there really matters. Sandra, can you hear me with my second device?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so how you present yourself out there really matters. How you put yourself out there, right? If you did something, I don't understand you. I did something with Amda Analytics. I did 18. No, I did 18 with Amda Analytics, right? No, it doesn't make sense. Okay, yeah, your presentation, your analysis is good, your medium and everything, right? But learn how to put yourself out there, look standard with your sound professional in what you're putting out there, because that's actually things people looked out to. When they want to hire you, there are some things that people looked out to, right? So it is important that you understand how to showcase yourself, how to sell yourself, right? You did not did a thing with Amda Analytics. You worked on analysis. You worked on a project by probably your internship program with Amda Analytics. That makes sense. Just like what Sandra said, someone said, I was bored and feel like to take up this. I felt to take up this challenge with Amdan. I was like, what? So you don't need to be here if you were bored. There are a lot of places where you can be. All right. Thank you very much for that. Please go ahead, Sandra.
Yeah. All right. So please, I don't know. We only need serious minded people, because there are a lot of people who need this opportunity to showcase their skills, right? And you were accepted, right? Even after telling you guys that you were picked, like you were selected out of hundreds of people that applied, you were selected. So we would really want you guys to put in your best. Don't look at it as, oh, it's just something to pass time. This is not a place for you to pass time. This is a place for you to grow your skills. We are not looking for people to play with. No, we are looking for people who are serious, right? So another thing that we observed was that lack of storytelling in a post. Like in your post, you guys just gave us back what was in the data. We wanted some creativity, right? We want things that will be able to, or we want insights that will be able to captivate your audience. Not insights that when your audience look at it, they're like, okay, what is going on here? And they are already tired. They're like, okay, I don't get this. Something clear that your audience can be able to follow through. And we've already talked about not researching well enough. A lot of you did not research.
Okay, so I believe it's her network, and she'll be back soon. Okay, but in general, everything that we are trying to say here is that please be serious with this, right? A lot of things that you thought about your analysis, your dashboard, and a lot of you did not have good formatting. You did not format your dashboards. That is your report. You did not format it very well. Just put it out there. There is no good formatting. Like there is no comma in your values and all that, right? let me say we forgiving you. Yeah, and we want you to do better. We want you to do better. And a lot of you, when we said tag Amd Analytics, that this is your internship program with Amd Analytics, we emphasized on that. And still though, a lot of people did not do anything like that. You just go there and tag Amd Analytics, like you just type Amd Analytics after telling story about how you did it, Sambra. You did not even want to, to recognize, or some people said this data set was provided by Amd Analytics, right? So if you feel like it's child, maybe your organization you're working with will not permit you to be able to do this thing, right? I don't see. You might want to drop. It's not a bad thing, right? You might want to drop, but we want you to know that this is for your own good. Okay, this is for your own good. We are going to make sure that we move a lot of people to the second batch, and by God's grace, next week you are seeing other professionals that we come here and also, of course, talk to you. This is what we do. We feel like, oh, this is what we can do for these guys, for them to to be well equipped, right? Prove their expertise, right? I don't know if any of you have done internship program somewhere else. You find out that it's difficult. I mean, very, very difficult for you to see those guys coming live to give you your feedbacks and it motivates you. You understand? So that's actually why we stand out in this game. Okay, I just want to believe that we've done so much. The program, we plan to have this section for an hour 30 minutes and we extended it as well. So I just want to believe we are all good, everybody. We are all good. If you know that you are cool, that you are cool with everything we've said, please type yes. Type yes. Type yes in the comment section. If you know that you are good, everything we said, you are good. Can you please type yes? All right, thank you very much, everyone. We do appreciate you guys. We do appreciate you guys. Your second project will be coming before tomorrow. So you will receive your second project before tomorrow. All right. So it simply means that if you do not receive any project, the second task, it simply means that you were not moved to the second stage. Okay, you were not moved to the second stage, and of course the second stage might be a bit tougher, right? Yeah, but the goal of everything is to groom you. You've gotten all the feedbacks that from our colleagues here, everything that you should have done better. I believe in the second project, that one as well will be much, much, much better than what you've done this one. And kudos to everyone. I do appreciate you guys. For everyone that submitted, I mean, at least for you to make attempt. I saw a guy that said that he moved from, I think he slept in a hospital. I don't know if that guy is here, but the guy said he slept in a hospital to ensure that he submitted this project. I want to tell you that effort is not going to go in vain, right? That effort, no. If we did not pay, if you did not get that, the reward today, you will get it tomorrow. It's for your own good. Trust me. All right. Good night, everyone. Bye. Bye. Stay blessed and do have a productive week. Cheers. So we are going to continue our discussion on your WhatsApp group. We are going to continue on WhatsApp group. Cheers, everyone. Bye.